Hi, this is Bob Hatton from Germany. We've got Good Friday today, and we're going to think today about what Jesus did for us on that very first Good Friday as he died. Yesterday we heard about Jesus was arrested. He was then tried, a mock trial. He was sentenced to death by crucifixion. He was tortured. He was then given a cross and he was made to carry it to Golgotha, which was the place of execution. When they got there, they nailed him to the cross. Now, previously, Jesus had said to his disciples that you will all leave me, but it doesn't matter because the Father will remain with me. And of course, Peter said he wouldn't leave him, but he did, and the others left Jesus as well. But when he got to Golgotha, when they knocked those nails into his hands, Jesus began to pray. Despite the terrible pain he was going through, he prayed, and he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing." Even in this terrible moment with terrible pain, Jesus was having fellowship with his Father in heaven. The Father was by him. Now, they crucified Jesus. They nailed him to the cross at 9 o'clock in the morning, and he actually stayed there until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But at 12 o'clock, it suddenly went dark, and there was an earthquake, and Jesus cried out with a loud voice at that time. The people who were standing below the cross, in front of the cross, they didn't understand what he was saying because he was speaking in Aramaic. And Aramaic was the language that Jesus used when he was speaking to his parents, when he's speaking to his friends. It was the language that they spoke in Galilee, in Nazareth. It was the language of his heart. And he said, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani." The people from Jerusalem, they said, "What on earth is he saying? Is he calling on the prophet Elijah to come and help him?" But Jesus actually said, my God, why have you forsaken me?" This is Psalm 22. This is a psalm that David wrote 800 years before. And if you read this psalm, he describes how a person felt who was being crucified. But with Jesus, he didn't just have physical pain. He didn't just have psychological pain. Another aspect came to it, and that was the spiritual aspect. The Jews were celebrating Passover. The Day of Atonement had something to do with that, and on the Day of Atonement, the high priest would lay his hands on a scapegoat, and this goat would receive the sins of the whole people, and then they would send this goat into the wilderness where it would die under the weight of the sins. That was symbolic. That didn't really happen. It was symbolic, but on the cross, that wasn't symbolic. Something was happening in reality. That it is that God the Father, he drew the sins of all the world. He drew my sins. He took my sins. He took your sins, and he put them on Jesus. And as Jesus was hanging on that cross, the weight of our sin was there. And at that moment when the Father looked at his Son, who was carrying the sins of the world, it made him sick. Our sin makes God the Father sick. And he turned away from him. And in that moment, the heart of the Son of God just burst. My God, why have you forsaken me? In Romans chapter 8, we read that God could forsake his Son so that he could save us. If he had saved his Son, he would have to have forsaken us. God forsake his Son for us. God so loved the world that he sent his only Son. What we have to do is to receive this sacrifice on the cross. Say yes to Jesus. And this is a challenge I want to leave you with on this Good Friday. Will you say yes to Jesus? Will you say, "Jesus, come into my life. Forgive me my sins. I want to live with you." I hope you can do that. And if you do that, please look for fellowship with other Christians. God bless you. Have a good day. This is Bob Hatton from Germany.